Back to the Spiritual Business Blueprint. I'm Tracy Ann Rose, and today's episode is titled How to Actually Use Intuition in Business When Logic Isn't Enough. Hi, I'm Tracy Ann Rose, and I help high-achieving spiritual women of color entrepreneurs break through income ceilings and reconnect with their intuition without burning down their business. So today we're talking about identifying intuitive gifts and what area to apply them to in your business, whether you've made $7 or 7 figures. Be sure to stay to the end because I will be sharing how you can double your income no matter what income level you're at. Okay, so first things first, how to trust your intuition. You first need to identify how you receive your intuition. Now, there's a few primary common ways that people receive intuition. So let's just go through that first, okay? So you have to know your clairs. These are names for spiritual gifts. I'll break them down for you. Don't worry if it starts to feel like, oh my gosh, clairs, like I'm learning a new language. You're learning the language of your intuition. Enjoy this process. It's easier than you think. So first things first, the way to identify your intuitive gifts is to recognize how they show up whenever you're in a meditative state. So, for example, when you're doing a guided meditation, do you have a lot of visuals? Do you hear messages coming into you? Do you sense something? Or do you have a sudden knowing where all of a sudden things click into place and you're like, I get it. I understand it. Like I understand the magic of the universe, whole like Goodwill Hunting type of moment. So let me explain to you what those different gifts are. And if you are somebody who's like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking, I don't ever get anything in meditations, don't worry, I got you too, okay? So if you are somebody who hears things in meditations, that is known as clairaudience. That means that your intuitive gift is hearing. You probably are a very great deep listener in your business, whether that's coaching, spiritual healing. You're able to provide people with a deeper insight than what's even said because you have the gift of deep listening. But that also comes through not only in your work in your business, right? You know what your client truly needs, even though they're saying they want something else, or you're hearing the flaws in their logic, right? But intuitively, when you're connected to the divine, when you're connected to the intuition, your source, the field, whatever you want to call it, it might come in as just words that pop into your head. They're very clear. They're very calm, usually pretty short phrases. Sometimes they tell you to take a specific action, but it will never feel like anxiety when it comes in it. It'll never have a fearful energy. So that way, you know whether or not it's intuition. The next clair that I find very common is clairvoyance. So these are the people who, when they meditate, they see visuals, right? And they might even see or sense visuals in their day-to-day life. So they might not visually see an aura around somebody, but they can sense the aura around somebody. They just have that gift where sight is how they receive intuition. So they might be very observant. They might notice small shifts in body language or facial tics that kind of allow them to read what's going on in any sort of like networking situation. Or if your client is having a hard time and maybe not, just saying everything's fine. And you can see, oh, no, she's doing that thing where she rubs her temple. I know everything is not fine. So that's another way that you might notice that showing up in your business if you're not sure, okay, am I clairvoyant? Clairsentience is very common for empaths, highly sensitive people, and also empaths. We do tend to develop CPTSD because we are so primed to other people's emotions very early on. But this will help you with that. If you are struggling with a little low line base level with CPTSD, as I am myself a CPTSD survivor, so I completely understand. you guys tend to be clairsentient. So that means that when you're in meditation, you very much feel things happening. So you might feel there's a stream. You might sense that there's a disturbance in your energy field, or you might sense the presence of a loved one who has passed away. It's something like that. And what that looks like in business is maybe the same thing with your client, right? Your client saying, "Oh, everything's okay. Like I know I didn't your my late weight loss coach or whatever and I haven't lost the weight, but I'm fine. Everything's fine at home." And you can sense that something is not fine. You might also feel what other people feel. It's very important that you know your energetic boundaries, which just show up when you're picking up on very subtle energetic shifts. Like you might be able to be like, "Oh, my client is feeling a little uncomfortable in the coaching relationship and might have something to say." And then you can set the space to talk to them about it. Claircognizance is when you're in meditation and you simply get that drop in of knowing. This can also happen in flow states. So you might be taking a shower and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh my gosh, I completely know the next way that I want to launch my next offer." Like, and it's a new innovative way that you never thought of before, right? So that's claircognizance. It just drops into your channel. It's that aha moment. It's what we're typically used to associating with insight or intuition. But we all have these gifts on some level. If you feel like, "Oh my gosh, Tracy Ann, I don't know. I don't know if I have these gifts because I do these meditations, I get nothing." I will say to you that most likely, if you are feeling this, your gift is claircognizance. And what you need to do to get around this issue with like tapping into it, because right now you're overworking your third eye and your crown chakra. So you're not able to actually receive the information because when we overthink or repeat any energetic pattern without a sort of release, it just gets trapped in our physical body. So whenever you are claircognizant and you continuously fixate on something without taking action or making a decision, it can result in headaches. So a way to circumvent this is to look for signs. And so attribute like a blue jay to yes on a business decision. Like you might be thinking about working with a new mentor. Do I really need another mentor? I'm not sure, but the deal looks great. I'm just not sure. I can't tap into my intuition. I'm feeling stressed. Tell the universe, "I want to see a bluebird within 24 hours to know if it's a yes." And you can even give it a no symbol too, but usually just a yes symbol will be enough for you. And then that will help you make your decision. With clairsentience, once again, it's recognizing like what's in your own physical body. What are you feeling in the moment versus what is the other person feeling in the moment so that you don't get energetically enmeshed. For clairvoyance, to avoid energetic enmeshment, sometimes you have to meet your client where you are. Even if you see something deeper, they might not be ready to face that issue. So kind of start somewhere tangentially, somewhere that's related that feels less heavy to them. So say they have an issue with work-life balance and that's showing up in their marriage where they're doing all the work, they're taking care of the kid, they're, preparing all the meals, cooking all the food, running their business, and their husband, because they make more money, expects that of them, right? And so there's this energetic imbalance in this person's life that will inherently show up in their business, but they might not be ready to tackle like, "Oh, I need to set boundaries with my partner." Instead, they might be ready to tackle, "Oh, hey, what is a morning routine that's going to function for me so that I can more easily self-advocate for myself or rest?" And then it will gradually proceed. With clairaudience, you've got to say it. You've just got to say what comes into your brain. You can prep the person ahead of time, like, "Hey, I'm getting this message. Are you ready to receive?" Always get consent. And if they are ready to receive it, then just say it. Otherwise, it can also result in headaches because of the divine communication that's coming in through I usually feel it in the back of my third eye. And once again, you can tap into all your clairs through the flow state. So if you're still like, "Oh, I don't know," do something that you love to do that's a little bit challenging, a little bit fun, and something that you lose track of time doing, something that you're like, "I don't even need to eat, I don't need to sleep. I'm just having the best time." you'll notice what your clair is, because it'll just drop into your channel. So that's another way to activate your intuitive gifts if you're not sure what they are yet. But before we move to the next point, this is exactly why I created Soul Centered Success. If you are looking to double your income or simply break through the income ceiling that you've been repeating for 2 or 3 years to up your cash flow, this is something that I walk you through step by step. You can learn more in the description below. Now we're going to dive back into our episode and talk specifically about the different levels of business that you're at and where to focus your intuitive gifts now that you understand what they are, right? So if you are one of my burgeoning business owners, that's typically in the 4-figure range. What's really, really important for you when you're getting started is offer development. You want to turn your intuitive gifts towards offer development. A lot of times when we're in that early stage, we're not sure about what we want to offer people. We don't know the pricing of it because sometimes if we're clairsentient, we're afraid that they can't afford it. We're not secure in our identity as a business owner. So once you are able to focus your intuitive gifts on, okay, who are the people that are attracted to me naturally? What are their problems? What do I feel capable of solving? What is my physical capacity to support others? Am I somebody who can do 2 calls back to back in a day, or am I somebody who needs just 1 call a day? And then from there, you can set up the structure and logistics for your program. So if you know your capacity is you've got about 5 hours each week in order to serve other people, you want to make sure that you're carving out those 5 hours and respecting them, not going over, not overbooking yourself, but really at this stage, focus solely on offer development and what is an offer that will support you exactly where you are right now, not in the future, not when you have 10 clients and are booked out, but right now, what works with your life, especially if you have a part-time job, a partner, a household that you're running, people that you are a caregiver for. You need to make sure that your offer reflects your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual capacity now. It can always develop, okay? It can always grow. And then if you are in my 5-figure stage, you're an established entrepreneur, you need to focus your intuition on lead generation and marketing strategies, okay? So this means it's really about connection. You have your offer, right? You have the foundation for your business. You have a schedule that works for you. That's great. But now you need, of course, money to come into your business to make it profitable. But how do you find the right people who understand the value of what you have to offer? This is when you use your intuition and especially your flow state. Your flow state will allow you to know, okay, this is where I need to be to meet the right people. A lot of what I don't agree with in business is that you have to just constantly be hustling, be moving, be doing something. I don't agree, especially in human design. If you're a reflector, a projector, if you're like me and you're a generator with gift 52, the gift of stillness, it does not work like that for us. And even manifestors as well. You need to have that rest time. You need to have a strategy that supports your physical energy and makes it magnetic to those around you. So by respecting your energy, you do that by creating the offer. With the lead gen, then you're looking for, okay, how do I feel into if this person is a match? How do I feel into if this person is going to be an ideal client for me? So with Clairaudience, listen deeply to what they are saying. Are they mentioning the problems that you help them with? That's the clue, right? Or if you see a sign, if a blue jay flies by them, you're like, okay, I know that I need to offer to work with this person and set up a call. Clairvoyance, for example, you might see something about them that you're like, wait a second, that's a little off. Like maybe, and then start a conversation and find out more about what you can help them with. Clairsentience, you might just feel it. So once again, it's always being willing to engage and connect on a deeper level. It's not about going straight to the sale. It's about building that trust and relationship through your intuitive gifts so that you do expedite that process without losing trust. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the comments on that one. So if you are in the six figure and above range, you're a successful, I don't want to say successful. What is the word? I had a word for this, but it's essentially if you're six figure plus business owner, so you've scaled, right? What you need to focus on is brand identity and legacy. Okay, your brand legacy. That's what you need to focus your intuition on. You know how to make money. You know you have a solid foundation for your schedule typically. You know the people who are attracted to you and want to work with you and how to reach them and connect with them on a deeper level. But in order to maintain your success or build your success and break through an income ceiling after you have scaled and had much success, it's time to reevaluate your brand identity and your brand legacy. Because usually when we hit an income ceiling, things aren't lining up. And what I've noticed with people in the six figure plus range is that they are overcoached. They have a mentor that they've been with for so long that they are afraid to let go of their advice and deviate for fear that they will destabilize their business, burn it down, and ruin the reputation and the identity that they have actually built. So, this is when you need to use your intuition. Check in to what they are saying. When you listen to your business coach, give yourself a little bit of space instead of immediately acting, because I know you guys are very action oriented. Give yourself a day or two to just let it sit in your channel. Just see how it feels physically in your body. If you're clairsentient, put out a sign. If you are, claircognizant and feeling overly anxious, journal. That's a great way to also access your intuition. Just free writing, channeling, speaking out loud in a voice note, and recognize, okay, what is the discomfort that's actually coming up in my body? And intuitively, does this match the legacy that I'm trying to leave for the 7 generations after me? And would the 7 generations before me be proud of these actions? And that will help you determine whether or not that coaching relationship is being supportive, or if you need to speak up and advocate for a different strategy for yourself. So those are the tips. That's how you can trust your intuition in business when logic isn't enough. You know exactly how to access your intuition, and you know exactly which area of your business to work in. So, if today's episode resonated with you and you're ready to break through your income ceiling, I invite you to check out Soul Centered Success. It is designed for you, high achieving women of color entrepreneurs, and it helps double your income without risking burnout. You'll find the link in the description. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.